Average closed sales price for homes in North Dallas and the surrounding suburbs has been on a steady rise throughout 2023, which is great news for sellers, not so great for buyers. Hello Dallas, I'm Gurley, and welcome back to our monthly market update by the Gurley Group. Today we're diving deep into August 2023 numbers. There's a lot to unpack, so let's go. Just a couple of disclosures. This is going to cover pre-existing homes, not new construction homes. It's also going to cover North Dallas and all the surrounding suburbs. So we're going to go from downtown Dallas about 30 miles north to 380, which is a highway that runs east and west, and that's going to be between more or less 35 and 75. So we kind of got this wedge from downtown Dallas going north. It's going to cover all the market where we're active in serving our customers here at the Gurley Group. So what does that look like? In North Dallas and its surrounding suburbs, we saw 2,186 homes sold, which when compared to pandemic years of 2020, 2021 sales volumes, those were both well over 3,200 homes. We were eating through the inventory, demand was ridiculous, and it continues actually to be high on demand, but our inventory is a major issue, and that's really what we're going to hone in on today is inventory problems. This is over 1,000 homes sold less in 1 month compared to those years. This is a big part of our sky-high pricing challenge for buyers. However, it's essential to understand this isn't a shaky market. Instead, this is a reflection of our low inventory problem. The demand is there, but the supply simply isn't. Nearly every market across North Texas echoes some form of this low sales volume, low inventory issue, which started in the May-June timeframe of 2022 when we saw rates really kick up high. These amounts roughly account for half of the available homes for sale, which means we have about 2 months, just a shade over 2 months of inventory in all large markets in North Texas. All right, topic number 2, we're going to cover average closed price. So these are the sales prices reflected in August, and we're going to see what that number looks like right now. So average closed sales price for homes in North Dallas and the surrounding suburbs has been on a steady rise throughout 2023, which is great news for sellers, not so great for buyers. In August 2023, the average closed sales price was $685,900, a significant increase from pre-pandemic levels of 2019 when the average sales price in this same area was $458,000. This is a tremendous growth in equity, and again, just illustrates how hard it is to afford a home if you're a buyer. And it actually even creates a problem for sellers because they don't know where to go with this increased equity. They're going to have to pay quite a bit more for what they would have had in the past for a lot less. So this is that conundrum that we're trying to figure out here, and homes are still selling though, so somebody's moving. This trend, even more impressive when you consider rates are currently above 7%. The migration we saw here in North Texas from every state, it feels like, and during the pandemic, it continues to this day and has played a significant role in the equity increase that we're seeing. Such growth of equity over the past few years is previously unheard of here in my 25 years of serving my customers here in North Texas. Yet, these values continue to remain high and are resilient, and I hope that's going to stave off or keep us from seeing really volatile price drops long term. So let's go into topic number 3, which is going to be the amount of days it takes to sell typically. Homes here in this area, we're still seeing roughly about half the historical average of days on market. The average days on market to sell in August 2023 was 29 days. This is trending back towards pre-pandemic levels of around 55 days on market on average from 2019 and previous. And it's still a fact nearly. Unfortunately for sellers, this last several years has created a short-term expectation where historical norms being 55 days, they're used to 1 to 5 days during the pandemic, and that's where we have a big disconnect as far as expectations for sellers. Right now we're seeing way fewer showings. Most of my listings I've seen this last 2-3 months has been, sometimes we have 0 showings the first weekend, which was alarming, but what happens is we'll get to that average days on market of 20 to 30 days. We will see people that have been watching the house. You have a lot of saves and a lot of views on Zillow, Realtor.com, online platforms like that. So we know we're getting eyes on the properties. Open houses are tremendously busy, but those are people that are not getting in the car to go look, at homes. They're not quite there yet, but they're watching. And so this indecision on buyers' parts, it's a tough pill to swallow with rates the way they are, so I get it. However, the number of showings to the contract that we get it's much less. We sometimes I had one recently that was only 4 showings over 30 days, which led to the contract. So really stressful and really kind of an unknown for sellers on what's going to happen when you put your house on the market right now. So, however, all this information as far as days on market, it's a clear indication of the high demand that still resides in our marketplace. So let's jump on to our last point, which is going to be interest rates and the effect on market behavior, which I started to get into a little bit just now. With mortgage rates recently as high as 7.5, we believed this would cool down the market, right? And that's what the Fed's been doing with inflation nationwide overall. That strategy looks like it may be coming to an end or flattening out. I feel like they're starting to see some indicators in our economy overall that's really had an effect. But in North Texas, this has not cooled down our market at all. The evidence of pricing really continuing to rise from January to now is evidence of that, as well as the homes still selling at, like, say, maybe 13 to 20% off on sales volume, but they're still selling. This cooling down effect did start in May or June in 2022 throughout the fall of 2022. And then in January, we really started seeing the market, due to seasonality, our normal ramping up of volume, really started to show pricing starting to rise all the way to now. So 8 months, we've seen steady increases almost every month across nearly all large markets, and with a few exceptions of some smaller markets where low volume and desirability may be on the outskirts of the DFW. For buyers, another prevalent belief is that rates will come back down, and they're waiting. But here's the problem. If rates do indeed come down in the mid-6s to low 6s, this is further going to drive prices up in our market. So if you have an immediate need or motivation to buy or sell, right now, waiting may not be your best bet. So after all that information's out, just one little bit of context before we zoom into some specific markets. August, in the context of the year, we have seasonality here in North Texas, where we see March, April, May start to ramp up from a slower period and low volume in the winter months. And we'll see that ramp up, seeing our peak pricing and volume usually in May, June, July. In August, it does start to come down, and then we'll see that go down all the way through the holiday season and then back again to the next spring. In March, we'll start to see it ramp up. So that's our normal seasonality. So August, we would expect to see lower sales volumes, but let's see what it looks like in some of these specific markets. Let's start with Plano, Texas, who in August of 2023 saw 177 sales. This is well off of the typical pre-pandemic levels of 236 to maybe 300. That's what we see just if we go back 5 years prior to the pandemic. If we look at July 2023, though, just 1 month prior to August when we saw 177, we saw 187 sales. So typically you'd see that number be quite a bit higher, but we do see it start to dip, which is normal, a little bit in August. But again, that 187 number typically would be 300. So we're already way off, despite seeing the same seasonality flow. Okay, when we look at pricing in Plano, what we see is an average of $619,000, which we're almost back up to our peak pandemic pricing level of $640,000, which I think was our high water mark in the pandemic. So we're ramping back up very close to that, and in some areas we're even exceeding our high value marks during the pandemic. So that's very interesting as far as pricing goes. Again, this information, these specifics in Plano just show the continued high demand in this area. Let's jump to Frisco, Texas, often called the $1 billion mile. Has the PGA home there with golf courses and all kinds of entertainment. It also has the home of the Dallas Cowboys, as well as several other massive developments that are either under construction or completed. In Frisco, we saw 177 sales in August, compared to pandemic years when we supposedly had low inventory of 300 plus in both 2020 and 2021. When we look at pricing in Frisco, it was up to $854,000. This is up from July of 2022 at $782,000, which was really our high watermark. So we're way over the highest levels of pricing we saw in the pandemic, which is a total anomaly. It's definitely one of the highest differentials we've seen as far as pricing goes in the face of all these high interest rates and inflation. This appreciation, even in the face of decreasing sales, underscores the value and desirability of Frisco. And then finally, we're going to jump to a super luxury marketplace in Highland Park, Texas. This luxury market is always intriguing. In August 2023, the average close price was, wait for it, $3.2 million. To provide more context, let's compare May of 2023, just a few months prior, where the average close price was slightly lower at $2.7 million. For all of you millionaires out there. This 3-month increase in value, even in the premium market like Highland Park, is a testament to the area's enduring appeal, but it also is worth noting that such a rise in the luxury market where prices are already high indicates a strong buyer confidence, right? A demand for premium properties is always going to be there for Highland Park. So let's wrap this up. While there are fluctuations month to month, the overarching trend in Dallas and the surrounding suburbs is clear. Despite challenges like high interest rates, inflation, the demand remains strong. Property values continue to appreciate. So whether you're in Plano, Frisco, Roanoke, Keller, Richardson, any of these other really great places to live around North Texas, they're highly desirable. And even luxury lanes of Highland Park, the data underscores the strength and resilience of our market here in North Texas. Sorry if we got in the weeds, but I really felt it was important that anybody considering anything to do with real estate in North Texas saw data. It's not the national level. All real estate is local, and I just wanted to highlight that with data, not opinion. I did draw some conclusions there, but it is purely based on data. So if you'd like a copy of any of these data points for any suburb of Dallas, we can provide those to you. Just comment below and we'll connect on that. If you have any questions, please comment below as well. We're happy to respond. And then, as always, our team at the Gurley Group is here to guide through every step of your real estate journey. If you found this update valuable, don't forget to like, share, or subscribe for more insights. And until next time, we will see you then.